The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and it's time for Head to Headlines, where you choose the content of what we talk about next based on the headline alone. The key thing to remember is when choosing a headline is we will never talk about the other story again. Ever, ever.
Even if there's a fire.
That's right. It's just gone. It's gone forever. So here we go at headline number 1. SWAT team raids innocent family over stolen AirPods dropped on their street.
Still a thief. Okay.
Well,
No. If you pick up AirPods, I have had 2 taken, not personally from my body, but I left them somewhere and people started using them. Okay?
mm-hmm.
And you can write a note on your AirPods. Every time somebody opens them, the note pops up.
Okay.
The note
And-
pops up like in the AirPod case or on the
Like
phone?
on your phone.
Oh.
The note will pop up. Like, because you know how like every time you like put in AirPods, like you see it on your phone?
Yeah.
So the note will pop up. And I have written every single time, these are stolen, you son of a bitch. And like on all these AirPods, and no one cares and they keep using them.
Wait, I might steal that. Hang on. These are stolen, you son of a bitch. That's what
Yeah,
you
I just want to
okay.
make sure I got the quote
I
right.
just want to make sure I wrote it down right.
Yeah. So still stealing. Some poor person probably put a note on them because they just left them somewhere. You can just take stuff.
Well,
Lame.
listen. We don't
This is
know.
expensive.
We don't know the whole story, but maybe that's what happened in this. This is just a headline.
Thank God. I hope the SWAT team wrecked that house.
They're going with the.
I wish I could have known I could have called SWAT this whole time. I have 2 AirPods out there.
They're going with that tank battery ram that took out their whole house.
Oh,
Yes.
God.
Oh,
This
they
is so
deserve
sad to
it.
think about.
I hope it's that scene from Christmas Vacation where he breaks in all the windows.
Oh.
What's the other story?
I also had a visual of the opening of Straight Outta Compton when Eazy-E is selling drugs and decides to become a hip hop, and then that's when that tank thing comes in and destroys the whole house just for
Yeah.
AirPods.
Wow.
I'm sorry, I didn't know why that movie. I wanted to quote that this morning. Great movie though, by the way.
It's great. It's a good one.
Okay, that's headline number 1. If you want to hear more on that story, 312-591-8300, text headline 1. Or headline number 2, Michigan man stabs relative in argument over Easter egg hunt at elementary school.
Maybe there's AirPods in one of the Easter eggs.
Okay, so that's headline 2. If you want to hear more about that, text 312-591-8300. Headline number 2. I'll do that right now.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101 with Head to Headlines. You decide the content of what we talk about. So once again, headline number 1. SWAT team raids innocent family over stolen AirPods dropped on their street.
Sorry. They're stolen AirPods. Not innocent. You earned it.
As
You
Kenzie,
earned the SWAT break.
as Kenzie says, in your notes on your AirPods, you should put in, "These are stolen, drop them, you son of a bitch." Something like that.
Yeah, these are stolen, you son of a bitch, is what I've written on the 2 pairs of AirPods that I've had stolen from me. Because you can write notes that, like, when your AirPods connect to your phone, like, and it pops up,
Yeah.
there's a note there. Like, you can change what that says. So instead of, like, kids' AirPods, it can say, "These are stolen, you son of a bitch,"
Now,
which is what I did.
Instead of that, why don't you put your address or phone number?
Yeah, because they're so eager to return them. They're using them all the time. I have not gotten these efforts. I'm like, they're recharging them. I literally have kept my old AirPods on my phone just because I'm just pissed watching them use them all the time.
I just was wondering if maybe that's a better way to try to get them back than calling them a son of a bitch.
No, because they know what they did. They know what they did.
Okay, hey, you have better experience with this than I do. So
What, I want to give them my phone number and my address so they can steal the next pair I had to just go buy? They stole the first pair, Brian.
yeah, my bad. I think you know this area better than I do. Okay, headline number 2 was Michigan man stabs relative in argument over Easter egg hunt at elementary school. That one did win by a landslide on the text line. So,
I do want to know what happened really bad.
well, sorry,
I was hoping it would win.
we'll never know what happened in the first story, but I think Kenzie kind of laid it out for you.
Yeah, guilty family.
So here we go. Head to headlines. Michigan man stabs relative in argument over Easter egg hunt at elementary school. Sheriff's deputy said a man and a woman were setting up for an Easter egg hunt later that day when they got into a disagreement about the egg's placement. That's the genesis of this stabbing, was the placement of the eggs.
How, were there not many?
So far, I'm not that far in the story to know if there were tons, but just over at least one.
If you're fighting about the location, it seems like they only had like 3 eggs to hide. Like you feel the pressure of like these got to be in a really good spot. We didn't buy enough.
You got to remember, there's nothing worse than a bad Easter egg hunt where all the eggs are too close together. You want the game to take an appropriate amount of time. If it's too soon, it's not fun. If it's too long, no one's having fun because they can't find anything. There's no excitement. The placement of the egg is actually crucial to the hunt itself.
Amen. It's not a hunt. Then it's just a gather. It's not hidden.
So you're justifying the stabbing.
I'm not justifying the stabbing.
Well, maybe. Let's hear more.
Yeah, I'd like to hear more because I at least understand why the argument took place.
Okay, let's get into it. A disagreement over an Easter egg hunt on Sunday at a Michigan school left one person with minor injuries and a second individual behind bars.
Wow.
According to authorities. So it was around 9:15 a.m. Deputies of the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office were called to Valley View Elementary in Springfield. What is a Springfield everywhere, isn't there? It's just outside of Battle Creek. Regarding a stabbing, okay? Sheriff's deputies learned that a man and woman were setting up for an Easter egg hunt later that day when they got into a disagreement about the egg's placement, according to the news release. A family member intervened in the argument, at which point the man produced a knife and cut that relative multiple times.
Oh, my God.
So I guess
Oh, so they kind of stuck their nose in someone else's business. Now, Dad, no, you're nosy.
Yeah, I was getting a little nervous. I'm just glad it wasn't the woman that got stabbed, if that was going on there, that another guy tried to maybe step in here.
You're just happy another guy got stabbed.
I guess I don't want anybody stabbed.
On Women's History Month.
For the record, I don't want anybody stabbed.
But if somebody's
Kind
going
of
to get
sounded
stabbed,
like you did, though. You said you felt relieved over who got stabbed.
I'm relieved. And also to your point, Kenzie, he was butting his nose in the business that didn't belong.
Yeah.
I mean, let the egg
Mind
lay.
your P's and Q's.
That's right. Deputies were able to convince the suspect to drop the knife and placed him in the custody. So he understood that he got carried away.
Credit to them. That's good de-escalation tactics.
Yeah.
Tell you what, realizing when you're wrong is a big step. He's more man than half of them out there. You know what I'm saying?
If you're going to stab someone, at least realize...
At least own it.
Yeah, you're wrong about it at some point.
He knows he was
step.
wrong. He knows, and maybe he had a prior beef with this relative.
You never know.
So he was.
Well, he sounds nosy as hell.
Well, yeah, he's always butting his nose in on,
He's nosier than Ray Romano.
That famous saying.
Oh, God. So, the story continues that
Nosier than Ray Romano.
the victim was treated on the scene for minor lacerations and is expected to make a full recovery.
Oh, gee. Minor laceration. He can't do anything. He can't have a good old-fashioned knife fight anymore
Good old-fashioned stabbing.
without somebody snitching.
Yeah, well, Kenzie, to your point, it wasn't a fight because the other guy didn't have a knife. It was just a stabbing.
Well, whose fault is that? Everyone knows you have to pack your knife for the Easter egg hunt.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Piece of garbage madness in full effect. You vote, you decide who's worst at Q101's Facebook page, on our Twitter. There's a poll up there, and on our Instagram story. And competing right now is the Krause Widowboers. They are a 5 seed. So the Krause Widowboers, this happened at the Chicago Bulls when they had the Ring of Honor ceremony. And the manager, the former general manager, Jerry Krause, his widow came out, Thelma, a beautiful lady, and people booed. People booed her because of, probably from The Last Dance, the documentary where they were talking about Jerry Krause and the strife he had with Michael Jordan and some of the other team members. So people know the history. They know.
You know what made me so sad about that? So it's not like she didn't hear it, by the way. She started crying when
She
it
did.
happened. And, she's a widow. And I would imagine, I try to think of myself in a scenario that, like, if that was me, if I was a widow, and I got to go to an evening that kind of reminded me, like, of my husband. It kind of made him feel part of your life again. How excited she'd be. And then they just ruin it and make her feel like, and break her heart as if it has been. I'm like, oh my God, it just made me feel ill. It really did.
It was disgusting. And
Yeah.
everybody shunned it right away. Obviously, even Ron Harper, the former Bulls player that was there, went up right to her and gave her a hug while she was crying because people were booing her late husband.
So sad.
Who, by the way, oversaw the Bulls when they won 6 titles.
I was gonna say there was some good stuff there too. It wasn't all bad.
Yeah. And also brought like Tony Kukoc and started the European invasion of players. I mean, that was kind of a bad way to say that, invasion, but the influx of great European
Well,
players.
tell me how you really feel.
No, I love Tony Kukoc. Love him. Anyway, that's the 5 seed.
America.
The 5 seed is the Krause Widow Booers. The 12 seed is Millennials
Oh, like as a whole?
as a whole.
I
So
thought there was gonna be a sentence like millennials do something, but it was just millennials.
just Millennials. Now,
What age range is that?
so just before I go there, that every age group was represented and already out are Gen Zers. That's Case's generation. Okay.
Which I'm shocked I did not make it to the round of 32.
Correct. And also Gen Xers are out.
That's right. But
So-
they're harmless. They're irrelevant.
Oh, we just built
What
everything you
generation
guys
are
use.
you, Brian?
I'm Gen X.
You're Gen X.
Yes, I am. And we built
Okay.
everything all the Gen Zers use, but they don't want to acknowledge it. They have a cushy life, an entitled life because of what I did or my
Wow,
people
we know
did.
who you voted for. Woof.
Now, Kenzie, I believe you are a millennial because those are people born from 81 to 99.
Okay, 81. I was born in 95.
Okay, so you're a millennial.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're like on the cusp because I don't think you have a lot of millennial tendencies. Like your social media is not that of a millennial social media. I don't think you're doing currently like a lot of boomerangs
Oh,
or
God.
referring to dogs as doggos.
Oh,
or
you know
things
what
like
a
that.
big millennial thing is?
What's that?
Saying I did a thing.
Absolutely,
which is
100%.
Such a bummer.
Yes,
I please stop
absolutely.
doing that.
And I don't think you're like that. So
No.
I consider you to be a millennial, but you're also on the cusp of millennial and Gen Z.
Isn't
Yes.
there one that's like a gap one, kind of in between millennials and Gen X or millennials and Gen Z? I can't remember.
Whoa, no, I don't know.
There's one like little one that's a couple years or something like
Maybe
that.
it's me.
Maybe it's Generation K.
Hey. They just know I was different.
So vote right now on your choice, millennials or the Krause Widow Booers. And it seems like an easy choice in a way and maybe knock out another generation. But then again, a lot of people out there voting. You decide at all our social platforms.
Well, it's tough for me because I hold a lot of resentment towards millennials. And I think we talked about this when they were nominated because my life growing up, millennials were blamed for everything. They killed Applebee's, they killed Hooters, they killed the economy, et cetera, et
What do you
cetera.
mean? I just went to Applebee's like a week ago.
Remember, you're Generation K. You're not in there.
Different ballgame.
Yeah.
So
How'd they kill Applebee's?
there's a lot of like Business Insider articles about how millennials don't respect the value of a chain restaurant and things like that. They were unfairly blamed for a lot of things. I thought,
Applebee's still has the 2 for $20, which is an appetizer and 2 entrees. My husband and I just did it.
I'm
like,
not
a week
arguing
ago.
that. I love Applebee's.
I
That's
think-
the point.
I mean, it's such a good value because I went to Taco Bell like 2 weeks ago and spent $30 for 2 meals.
I know.
And Applebee's, you can get an appetizer
Did you
and 2
get,
meals.
did you get an endorsement I don't know about for Applebee's?
No, but I wish. I love Applebee's. And apparently it's a hot take these days, but I think it's great.
They used to follow me on Twitter, and then I realized that Applebee's at one point unfollowed me on Twitter.
Well, what'd you do? What'd
I
you
don't
say?
know.
That is amazing to find out what you did to have Applebee's unfollow you.
Yeah, because I asked them to follow me, and so they did. But at some point, they must have not liked it, and they unfollowed me.
They
We
went-
should do a case for Applebee's.
I'm all for
Episode.
that. But anyways, let me talk about millennials real quick.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. God.
They killed Applebee's, they killed Hooters, they killed the economy, etc. They were blamed for all these things that I don't agree with. I thought by the time that millennials had any sort of corporate power in the world, they would have learned their lesson to be like, maybe we shouldn't blame the generation below us for everything. Wrong. Millennials got power, and they're like, you know who sucks? Gen Z.
Correct. Here's the thing. Everybody always blames a generation just younger for them for all the problems. And people want to say, oh, we're different. You're not different. Gen Xers got blamed for being slackers. And again, we built everything you use today. So everybody always, boomers blame Gen Xers. They thought the boomers thought we were lazy.
Shouldn't we learn from our mistakes at some point?
Hell no.
Brian's literally bitching about all the other generations while he's saying that.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
And the hits just keep on coming. Here we go. Another major concert announcement with Q101 this year in October 1st and 2nd. What a way to start off that month is 21 mother effing pilots. How about that? 21 pilots doing 2 shows at the Madhouse, October 1st and 2nd. And this is the incredible new tour from them coming up. And I got to say, they are the best live performers of our generation. They're a band. I know that might blow some minds there, but there are a lot of great bands out there, and there's bands you like their music of, and until you see them live, maybe you like them more, maybe you like them less, depending on how they perform. There's no one I know on earth that's walked away from a 21 Pilot show and did not love them exponentially more after that show because they put on one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life.
They are magnificent. You know, our relationship with them goes back to 2013 Picnic when they played the side stage. Think about that. Tinley Park, they played in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Ever since then, we've seen them grow. We've seen them play Twisted Christmas. We saw them do the 21 Pilots Takeover Tour 2 years ago, where they went Bottom Lounge, House of Blues, Aragon, United Center. Now they're back, Clancy World Tour, October 1st, October 2nd at the United Center. And Brian, I hear we have tickets to give away for that tomorrow.
How about it? We'll do it in trivia with Clash with Kenzie right at 7:10. Make sure you're here on the phones. 7:10, make sure you're here for that chance. Those 21 Pilots tickets on a day where we're already going to have Lollapalooza 4-day passes for Ticket Butts Thursday. Are you kidding me? All morning long tomorrow. Are you kidding me? Where's that explosion? There we go. Thank you very much. So I'll make sure you're here tomorrow. All for that. I can't wait to see him.
Brian, what would you tell somebody if they were like, oh, man, 21 Pilots tickets and Lollapalooza tickets at 8 and 9 o'clock for Ticket Blitz Thursday? I get to work at 7:45. What would you tell that person that maybe wants to listen and win 21 Pilots tickets and then win Lolla tickets?
Quit.
Quit your job.
Quit your job right now. That's all you got to do. That's my best advice.
Or listen on the Q101 app. That would be ideal.
Oh, you can do that too. I know you got to eat, so there you go. Tomorrow's going to be fire. It's Brian and Kenzie.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Again, a reminder one more time, 7:10 a.m. tomorrow, 21 Pilots tickets for the shows we just announced October 1st and 2nd at the United Center. It's going to get wild. Reminding me of the takeover. I bring back even more memories of 2019 Q101's Twisted Christmas at the Aragon, where they put on, I've seen them, I think, 4 times, 5 times, and it is not only a new experience every time you see them, but that show at the Aragon at Twisted Christmas was just mind-boggling.
7:10 tomorrow, your chance to win tickets and Clash with Kenzie and do it all over again.
And then Lollapalooza 4-day passes and Ticket Blitz Thursday at 8 and 9. So put these in your phone right now, these times. 7:10, 8, and 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, Thursday morning with Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Takeaways from you guys. Case, what do you got?
Kelly from Northwest Indiana checked in. She said her takeaway today is, don't bring a set of bunny ears to a knife fight. You will lose.
Oh, my God. Okay, that was an hour ago, and I thought that I just forgot about that.
That's an all-time head-to-headlines today.
Also, finally, with Sarah 708, takeaway, the Irish famine was caused by a lack of hops to make beer. That's right. You miss a moment, miss a lot, you go to the podcast. That's why we do it. We put the entire show up there in case what's coming up tomorrow, or actually right after the show when you get it posted.
Yeah, it turns out weed was invented earlier than we thought. Learned the origins of weed this morning.
Yeah.
You can actually get high before Christ.
Yep.
Which I did not know.
Yeah.
That was fun. We had that discussion.
Sure.
We also talked about whether or not P. Diddy played Pedaddle in the car.
Oof.
This car game that Kara invented that was like strip poker meets punch buggy. I don't understand what was going on. But P. Diddy might have been playing it. And then also, Kenzie checked in an hour ago live. We did a great head-to-headlines today talking about an Easter egg hunt gone wrong. All that and more, Brian and Kenzie podcast.
Go check it out, Q101.com. Anywhere you get your podcast. I like Spotify. Maybe you like Apple. Wherever you get it, whatever you're comfortable with, make sure you listen to the new Brian and Kenzie podcast.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.